All right, we're back on.
What's going on, Angel?
Good, Mike. How's it going, man? How was your
Very
week?
good, man. What's that?
How was your week?
Busy, very busy. But it seemed like I like being busy because it just seems to just go by so much quicker,
Yeah,
and I just feel like I got lots done. So yeah, it was
same here, man. Same here. It's been had a full weekend off so far. I had a good Saturday. Got a lot I got a lot done. Very productive. Did some
nice.
yard work. Did some work on the old laptop here. And yeah, man, it feels good to get a lot of stuff done. So
Yeah.
yep.
How's the weather right now in Florida?
It was actually kind of windy today, actually. Um, kind of warm, but yeah, I mean it's actually kind of weird, man. It's kind of May, but it's like the weather is up and down. Like literally on Friday, yesterday, it was pretty cold. I don't know why. I had to wear like my sweater, and then the next day it's like 90 degrees.
What? Really? It's so hard for me to picture because I was in Florida once in Miami a long time ago,
Yeah,
and um, I think that was like one of the hottest weather I ever seen.
yeah, man.
I went in
Further
February.
down you go, the hotter it gets. I live in Mickey Mouse land,
Oh yeah,
but that's inland. But what about over there in Canada?
it's off and on. Like it's funny because if you've ever seen or heard of Alberta, whether it's like 5 minutes it can be sunny, and then like 5 minutes later, all of a sudden it's just cloudy, cold, and windy,
Mm,
and then suddenly we get like rain, and then 5 minutes later again, and it's sunny again. It can go through cycles some days, so it's an interesting climate we have.
yeah, I gotta.
It's
I,
very
I I love to travel, man. I think Canada is like my next place to go. I definitely want to go see like the wilderness and
Yeah, dude, you should check it out. There's a lot. I'm sure you can. You'll. It's pretty chills out here. I'm sure there's a lot you can relate.
oh yeah, definitely. One day, man. One day, whenever if planes decide to go up in the sky again, we'll see what happens.
You're in the sky, yeah.
But yeah, man. So I guess we're gonna talk about our new discussion today, which is
Yeah.
I know that last week we spoke about teens and what's going on in today's world and how it is to be a teen and everything like that. So I think we're gonna go on and talk about self awareness and insecurities.
Ooh, the transitioning into adulthood, and yeah, there's. I think it starts in your teens. I mean, I think you kind of don't really know a whole lot of insecurity too much when you're younger and you're a kid. You don't really discover it until you kind of get a grasp a little bit on life, and from
Yeah,
your teenage years can then transition into your adulthood, right?
yeah.
So.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, man. When I went through my insecurities, it was just it's a time that I've always said I never want to go back. But as an adult now, I'm starting to appreciate. I'm starting to appreciate who I am and what I went through because of you know I believe this saying is true. Is that when you go through your struggles and when you go through your insecurities and you finally realize who you are as a person, you
Yeah.
you appreciate those moments because it got you to where you are today.
Oh, totally.
If you
Yeah.
don't if you don't if you don't go through the struggles, how do you know what it was? How do you know going through your struggles is a good thing? It's not necessarily a bad thing. And I
Well,
think that's a misconception with a lot of people nowadays. Is
yeah.
that, or I'm not saying everybody is going through problems. I'm saying for the people who are still trying to figure themselves out, and it could be from being a teenager in your 20s or in your 30s. Hell, I mean, there's people in their 40s and 50s who haven't figured it out yet. I think life you're never gonna. I think if you figure it out, please, I want to talk to you. I really want to get the gist on how what do you know? What do you know that I don't know? Type of thing.
I think each and every one of us are put here on this earth, and I still believe this to this day. And are put here on this earth to do great things, to
Right.
really become the best version of ourselves. And it's a never-ending journey. It's a never-ending, lifelong lesson of growth, learning, and just acceptance, and realizing that when you look back at that adversity and you say, you know what, that shaped me. I'm grateful for all those facings of adversity because it's helped mold me and shape me into who I am and who I'm becoming, and who I want to become.
Right.
You know what I mean? It never stops. Like I'm a huge learner, nonstop self learner, And I'm going to be a learner until the day I die, till I,
Yeah.
you know, am old and whatever.
Yeah.
So
I love, like I said, I mean, when you learn so many things, when you learn so many things, you learn so many new things.
yeah.
It's just like putting information into your brain, and your brain is literally your computer that you carry with you every single day, and it's part of your body.
Oh, definitely.
And you want to make and it's just like a muscle. It's like, like, obviously you work out, I work out too. But when you're working out your muscles. But
Yeah.
you also want to work out your mind, because that's probably the most important muscle in your body that you need to keep going.
And it's critical as you get older.
It is.
It's
It is. I mean, it
critical.
sounds cliche. It sounds cheesy, but it's true.
It's a necessity of life. If
Exactly.
your brain is like a muscle too, it needs to be worked out. It needs exercise. It needs fuel. It needs food for thought. And I think the easiest way to do that is by reading. When you become an avid reader, or even just kind of a starter of reading week by week, if you can read a page per day, a page. But most
Mm,
people won't stop with a page. Like once you open that book, I guess is kind of like the first
yeah.
starting.
And the thing is too, Mike, it's funny you mention that, because I wasn't a big reader. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say here I read 1,000 books like you
Same here,
see
dude.
out there. Like you said, like you see out there. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't read. I used to not read books a lot like that. To this day, I'm still learning how to read books, because my attention span is like wacko.
Mhm.
But but like I try to keep, but I force myself to just calm down and just like use this as a Zen moment
Yeah.
to really understand the concept of the book and what it's meaning, because every book has a meaning.
I never used
Now,
to like to read either, man.
n- yeah, it's hard, but I'm starting to like really enjoy it. Like, even if you read, even for starters, for a person like me, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like I know that you just mentioned that you don't read books like that, but let's just say for people like us that that really want to learn how to be how they want to we want to learn how to read, but don't really know how to do it and just be consistent with it. Because there's people out there that can read a book and never put it down. They could finish a book within a week.
I know.
Hell, some of them could finish them since, within 3 days, and the book is this thick.
Yeah. And some,
Um,
yeah, it's not about whose memory is greater and whose memory is better. It's just a trained memory. Whose memory is more trained for it. And I believe you can really shape and train your brain to really kind of become a better reader. I
yeah,
still don't really read a book a week. I still I read a lot more often. I never used to like reading before. I found it boring. I found it just wasn't exciting for me, but I was also not reading something that really interested me and how it was going
yeah,
to like better me.
yes, and that's great that you mentioned that, because I learned, I learned that if you want to start learning how to read, the best way to do it is get books that you're interested in.
Yes, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, it could
Yeah.
be anything. If you're into the auto field, if you're into cars, you're into luxury cars, you're into Lamborghinis, you're into Honda Civics, you're into, read a book on a Honda Civic if you're
If
into
you're into
auto.
cooking, if you're into cooking,
If
get a
you're
book on cooking.
right, if you're into cooking, buy a book from a famous chef. He's going
Yeah.
to tell you the ins and outs on how he started, where he started, how he opened the restaurant.
Yeah.
Secret recipes that you never knew he created, but now
Yeah.
you want to learn from the chef, people in the chef niche. Business, you want to read business books. Sales representatives, you want to read about sales. I mean,
Yeah.
the list could go on, and it's just like, when it comes to reading, that is a great way to break from your insecurities, because you are gaining knowledge that you never had before. You are gaining knowledge that the person next to you, your next door neighbor, has never heard of before.
Yeah. And I
That's
think
just a great, huge way to break from your insecurities, and just gain so much knowledge that you could share with others, and it's just gonna make you more intelligent. It's gonna make you more intriguing when you start
it
talking to
definitely
people.
it's kind of sharpen that muscle that's required, like sharpening a pencil. It really kind of helps the brain kind of pinpoint on something you're more interested in. Like in the school system, for example, I wasn't interested in a lot of the books that were assigned to my English classes. Like I found those to be boring. When we had to go and do book reports on these assigned readings, God, I found that I allocated so much pain to that instead of pleasure. Versus now, when I buy a book or I order a book, like I cannot wait for that book to arrive,
Right.
right? And actually start reading it because it's something that I associate pleasure with now, as far as fuel for the brain, fuel for the mind, as far as learning and growing and becoming a better person, and just depends on the book too, right? But
Oh yeah.
with school, especially growing up, like it's just not something I was interested in. I had zero interest in it, actually. I didn't really care for reading back then.
Yeah, me too. Like I know when I was in school,
Yeah,
I used to dread math.
yeah,
I mean, at the time I hated math. I now respect it. I mean, I still probably suck at it if I had to go back to school because my attention span sucks when it comes to that. But I respect it in so many ways because, everything is math. I mean, everything is math. Everything you hold, your phone was a math problem.
yeah.
Your
You
glasses,
thought about it.
your
Somebody,
glasses was a math problem.
yeah. It
Everything
all
is
started
math,
with
and
a
you
thought.
appreciate the where we created,
Yeah.
and that's just like those are skills that people have, but sometimes they might not even to use it to their advantage.
And it all started with a thought, one single thought, like everything just kind of appeared um, in the mind as a thought, and then became action on how to create, that chair you're sitting in, or that desk you have, or that
Yeah,
phone you just held up. That was all somebody's thought, a mathematical formula, and it became a plan of action, and it became what it is today.
yeah, and
Kind
and
of,
it yeah, and it's funny because even if we're talking about self-awareness, when you're reading a book or if you are watching a YouTube video or if you're listening to an audiobook and you're just listening or you're reading and you're reading certain parts of the book and you're reading main ideas, you're reading main plots of the book, what you found very intriguing, but what you don't realize that you just gained information that you never thought, or you just learned something brand new that you gained interest in. Mind you, you gained interested, you got all of a sudden interested into it, and that just gave you self-awareness, knowing that, what, I'm interested in that. I might try that the next day.
yeah, because the light bulbs start to kind of go off. The
Exactly. So that exactly, it's just you're
start having
learning so much. Yeah.
you start looking at those words, and you have really kind of, your brain doesn't have the choice to shut off the voice that's inside your head reading it. It's like, ideally it's, you should be reading it in your own voice, I would think. Like that's kind of the commonality. But when you start kind of reading something that's very informative, or really interesting, and you start relating it, your brain just finds ways that you relate to it. At least it's kind of like what I find when I'm reading, especially.
Yes.
And with that being said, you're finding yourself kind of coming up with ideas, creative ideas as to how you can maybe do something like that, or what you would do. And you just, whatever the case may be, you start to kind of become aware of your own self, I find, with it. So it's a critical thing. Like reading is so good, is like fuel for the brain, like I said.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so true. And then like I said, like the more knowledge you gain, the more you have a better perspective of yourself. You
Yeah.
gain more respect for yourself. You understand yourself more than ever. You start realizing you start realizing your faults. You start realizing what you're good at and what you're not good at. And the things that you're not good at, it is what it is. You're not good at it. You don't enjoy it, then don't do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And
If you,
that's the problem with the workforce nowadays. That your people work at a job that they hate. They don't like doing it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to get into that. But like I said, if you don't like what you're doing, then find ways to get knowledge so you can get to the next step and gain new skills that you may enjoy.
Yeah,
You know?
like if you suck at something, like for me, I try not to focus too much on the things that I know I'm not the greatest at, or I suck at. It's like I would much rather focus on the things that I'm, enhance and accentuate the strengths, things that I am good at, and the things that I'm not the greatest at. I'm not really going to focus on too much. Like why focus on the things that you really suck at? It's like it's pointless. It's kind of focus on your strengths. That doesn't mean that you give up on certain things that right away. But if like wholeheartedly that that's just not your thing, or that's just not your activity or sport or whatever the case may be. If you totally suck at it, then just like move on, you know,
Don't dwell on it. Don't sit on it.
on your
You know, you
strengths.
might exactly, and like I said, you just want to gain. And right now, I'm like, honestly, to whoever's watching this is like the perfect time to really figure out your strengths, to really figure out
Hands down.
your
Yeah.
do to what you really want to do. You know what I mean? I truly enjoy coaching as much as you do. And nothing gives me a bigger high than seeing someone smile or seeing someone saying again,
Oh,
you know, you really helped me today, and I thank you for the information you gave me.
I
That to
love
me just that to me just gave just that to me just is better than you give me $1 million right now, because that's like, wow, I could really make a difference. At
making a
least
difference in someone's life is the best rewarding feeling in the world to me too. It's just like, you know what? Because that's what life is all about. It's about helping people. It's about giving. That's what life is all about. You know, the key to life is giving, like Tony Robbins says. Um, you know, it's really about helping your fellow person, you know, because we're all
and
in
that's
this.
and like I said, we're not doctors, we're not therapists, you know, we're not in
No,
the medical field or what, so we're just here to give advice.
exactly.
Now, who's are you the person that's willing to get the advice? Because you really want, you have to want it. You just cannot
Yeah,
take it and not do anything with it. You have to want the advice.
it's a two-way street. You
It
have
is
to
a
come
two-way street.
from a place where you really want change and really want something that is going to be the motivating factor for you. And we're kind of there to help you kind of bring you what you want to kind of get you there. But first, it starts with you kind of
You
identifying
got to
what
put in the work.
why you want it, and how you, not so much how you're going to get there, but it's more so why you want it. Don't worry about so much as the how, but because you can put a plan into action as to like how you're going to get there, because the how will come. The universe, once you decide on what you want and become increasingly aware of like why you want it, the universe will do its part. As long as you take action, the universe will do its part to kind of course with you and move with you to help make that happen. But it all starts with you right up here.
You right, and that I agree with that, and it's just, you know, your dopamine start opening up. You
Yep.
know for a fact when you're doing the right thing. You know for a fact when you enjoy doing something. You know you're gonna feel it. You're definitely gonna feel you're gonna feel that high. You're gonna feel that natural high when you're doing something. You don't even pay attention to the time. You
Yeah.
don't even pay attention to what's really going on because you're so focused on what you're doing. You're enjoying what you're doing. You enjoy what's in front of you. You enjoy the process. You just enjoying that natural high, what you get and what you love doing. It's not even work to you.
It's one of those things where if it's something that you really love and you really feel emotionally compelled to doing, it's going to keep you up late at night. It's going to get you up early in the mornings. It can be something that you know you feel good doing it. You just
Yeah.
know,
And
you know.
to whoever's suffering from insecurities, that is a huge light bulb right there. Is how it can stop insecurities when you're doing something that you love and that you're good at, and that you can serve others. You could do whatever you want to do. I mean, whatever it is, from baking a cookie, baking cupcakes. If you're the best at baking cupcakes, I want some.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, man, these were fantastic. And how are you gonna feel after I tell you if those are fantastic? You're gonna feel proud of yourself. Your insecurities will not be there when I say, hey, those that muffin, that cookie was fantastic. Wow, you feel good about yourself. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go back in the bakery. You're gonna go back in the kitchen. You're gonna start whipping up some more cookies and start baking them and giving out to people.
Yeah. That's a good example too.
That is how it goes. That is how it goes. You
Yeah.
know. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's how you can really kill insecurities by yourself. And that
Insecurities
is,
are just, you know, we all have them. You know, it's not something that goes away. I think even as you get older, you just kind of learn to accept and deal with it better as you get older, right? So,
oh my God, hell yeah.
yeah,
Totally agree. Totally agree. And you
yeah,
know,
we're humans.
when your time will come. Your time will come. Now, for some, more power to you. You got your answer when you were 10 years old.
Yeah,
You
some
got
people.
your answer when you're 25. You got your answer when you were 30. You got your answer when you were 40. Who knows?
Yeah,
You know?
life is not a race. It's not about you know, having it all figured out by 18 or having it all said and done and you know, going through life like it's a grocery list or something like that. It's just like there's no race. It's take your time, you know, figure it out. Nobody says you have to do it by a certain age. Like
Yeah.
figure out your own path. I mean, I think that's where a lot of the insecurities come with, is because people can, you know, oh, I'm getting older, but I haven't gotten this done. Or it's just like, so what? You still can. You can pretty much make a decision right now.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. It's about right now. Where do you want to be? Where are you? Where would you like to
Yeah.
be?
Unfortunately, Mike, there are, there are people who are lazy and that don't want to put in the work.
That's true. Yeah, and there are
You
some
know.
people who don't want to, you know, put in the motivation, the time, the action, and more importantly, like you have to take massive action. It's like you know, I've said before, you really have to put yourself in that place where it's like you can't just sit around and hope that something's going to fall on your lap. Like you really got to start making your way. The universe will do its part, but you got to take your part and get out of that laziness and make a
Yeah.
decision, because
Yeah.
it starts with a decision. If you can make a decision and say, you know what, I'm not going to live like this anymore, or I'm not going to let fear be the factor of my life. Instead, take those insecurities and take it into a positive.
Right.
You know, what can you change about those insecurities? What is causing you to be insecurity? Become aware of them, acknowledge them, and, you know, how can you, okay, how can you turn them into confidence?
Right.
Right.
Do you remember how you mentioned that that you nothing's ever given to you.
Right.
Nothing's ever given to you. Now, another point is like, how do you think that successful people are? Like, you ever wonder how people, so, people who are successful, if you notice a lot of them, they're not insecure.
No, they're definitely not.
Why aren't they insecure?
Because
Why are they not insecure about themselves? That's what I meant to say.
because they've
Because they're
become
successful. They did the work.
did the work, and
They
they've
did
become
they
aware.
did the research. They gained knowledge. They gained the ability to understand things, to do things,
Yeah.
to do what they want to do. That's why people are successful.
They've become increasingly aware of themselves, and they know their
Right.
flaws.
You don't, and this is not right. And this is not about money.
Yeah.
You can give someone $1 trillion, but that $1 trillion is not going to buy him confidence.
Yeah.
You're still going to be insecure.
Yeah, it'll give you a quick dopamine rush, I'm sure.
It'll give you a good rush, but that rush is only going to last for so long, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're not happy where you're at now, I mean, what's $1 million? What's $1 trillion? What's, you know, a beautiful Lamborghini? I'm sure like you'll temporarily feel the little dopamine rush with the materialistic things of it. But if you're not happy with who you are, and you're not happy with, I mean, because I'm sure, and I've read about many different billionaires who've got a lot of who've got a lot of money but are not happy at all, that are like miserable people. You know what I mean? So why is that?
Right.
Right?
Oh, exactly. They have all the money in the world, but they're miserable.
Yeah.
The money doesn't mean anything. They have probably a vault full of cash in there, but deep
Yeah.
inside, they look at that and they're just like, okay, whatever. It's
Yeah.
just there. But I mean, how are you really going to understand yourself if you don't learn, if you don't learn from the best, if you don't learn from your mentors, if you know what I mean? Like it could just
Yeah.
be anything that you strive for, anything that you want to believe in. It's there. It's there.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. And then,
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was just going to add to that. Like, then you have the other, you know, highly successful billionaires, millionaires, whatever the case may be, who, like I said, like you kind of brought up, what is the commonality? What do they have in common? They are very self-aware. They know their strengths. They know their weaknesses. They know what things that they're not good at. So they probably allocate those tasks to somebody else. They know what they're good at. They still feel that urge, that drive, that
Right.
motivation factor. Like I take example, the CEO, the founder of Virgin Mobile, Virgin itself.
Brunson,
What's that?
his name,
Branson.
uh, Brunson, yes.
Branson, yeah. Can't remember his first name, but yeah, he's still like I've been following his work a little bit too, and like he still has that motivational factor, that drive, as if the first day he started his company.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's increasingly just become more self-aware with himself. And if you hear some of his, interviews and stuff, like he's like the most like humble dude ever. Like he's awesome.
Richard Brunson.
Richard Branson, yeah, that's what it is.
I looked it
Brunson
up. I looked it up right now.
The Branson.
Forgot his name. I had it in my head because when I don't know about you, but when I'm thinking about names, I'm like, I can't get it out of my mind. It's gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah, that was.
I gotta look it up. I gotta look it up right away.
Richard Branson. Okay, yeah, Virgin, the leader and founder of Virgin rather, and yeah, he still finds that internal enthusiasm, and he even said, like it's a lifelong journey. Like he's, constantly becoming more increasingly aware of himself. And he doesn't put himself as like, oh, I'm the leader of Virgin, now I can just take off and retire. He could if he wanted to, but he's still very much involved as if the first like day he's ever started, which is huge.
Yeah. And I mean, just the same thing with Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start off in in his garage, the same thing, exactly. Just like Bill Gates and all these guys. And you went from selling books on a website to becoming a tycoon.
Yeah.
Of online retail.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pure genius that, if they can do it, and
these guys all
people can do it if you want to do it. That's all I can really say. I can't. I mean, that saying that goes like, if they can do it, anybody can do it.
Exactly.
And anybody can do it, but it's just those certain few that want to do it, that want to learn how to do it, want to create that mindset to really want to do it, to cut your insecurities aside, to give more self-awareness to yourself.
Yeah.
Light bulbs will go everywhere and you can create something out of nothing.
It's the biggest.
It may not be for everybody, but it's just for those who really want to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And these guys all had insecurities too. Like, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had some fear. I'm sure they had some limiting beliefs.
It's a risk. I mean, taking a risk too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, the fear that we're not good enough, or, can create kind of those mental blocks, those mental obstacles and barriers that prevent most of us from reaching our full potential. Right. And achieving our most grandest goals. So it's just that it's a limiting belief. It's there, but it's there to help almost guide you as to what you need to get over, what you need to fix and work on. You know what I mean? And the more a person can kind of become more increasingly aware of that, then you can pretty much, set the sail and set the thermostat as to where you want to go. And it's almost like a GPS. It's like, you don't know how you're going to get there, but it's just like you set it and you're going to hit that destination, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I like that, man. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just, it's, you definitely learn a lot about yourself. I learned that. I mean, even being alone.
100%.
I really, I'm not trying to say I'm a loner, but I like my alone time.
Oh, me too. I value my alone time. I love my own company. I've learned a lot about myself over the years, especially through books, through meditation, through challenges, and how you handle those challenges. You learn a lot about yourself. Alone time is great. I think everybody should have it and appreciate it. And you really find a lot about yourself that it's a must. You must have that alone time at some point to kind of discover that.
Yeah. And it makes you, and it just puts you in your realm, and it just keeps you in a moment where you could really think about what's going on. You could really think about what to do next. You could really think about yourself and what you really enjoy. And
definitely,
I value my alone time. I really enjoy it. Like, I get to the point where, like I said, I really consider myself as an introvert. And I'm not glorifying myself because I'm an introvert, and I'm not saying that you need to be an introvert. I'm an introvert because I've just been that way my whole life, and I didn't realize it till now. So for everybody out there that they think that, they feel weird, or they feel like they can't talk to people, or they feel like, you don't like being around people, it's okay, because guess what? That's how I am, and that's how you can be too. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself when you're by yourself and you're thinking. And it's not that you're weird. It's that you like to be by yourself. You like to think by yourself. You like to create decisions by
Yes.
yourself. That's huge. You like to
Yes.
make decisions on your own. You like to do your own thing, and that's okay. Because I could tell you my inner circle. It's I don't know. I don't really. I have a very small inner circle.
You
You know,
really like,
I
you know,
spend my time with my family, and that's really about it. I mean,
yeah.
I don't have much of a posse. I don't have much of an entourage.
I think as you get older, it kind of that happens a little bit.
Yeah,
You find yourself even more, and sometimes some of the people that you once hung with, or you once knew, or you spent a great deal of your time with, even like sometimes on your own journey and finding yourself, those people are just naturally going to fall by the wayside.
yeah,
Sometimes in some cases, yeah, like the people that no longer serve you and your purpose, and serve you in your life, are just naturally going to fall by the wayside
yeah,
sometimes, right? And
yeah,
that's just the nature of it,
yeah.
and that's
And
okay.
and it's weird where you meet people. It's weird that where you meet people. You don't have to meet people at work or at school or at the grocery store. You know what I mean? If you don't like your inner circle, then you know what? Then put them aside. You don't like toxic people, then try to get away from the toxic people.
Yeah,
Or unfortunately, if you're at work and you have to work, you have to make, you have to put food on the table somehow. You gotta make a living. But if you work with toxic people, just ignore them. I know it's easier said than done, but you can't allow people like that to ruin your day. You can't allow people like that to ruin your life, because at the end of the day, it took me a while. I used to allow toxic people to really, really get under my skin.
oh
And
yeah,
granted, we're all human. I'm not going to say here I'm perfect. I'm not going to say here and tell you that I know it all. I don't. I don't know nothing. I mean, I could tell you that there's people that still get under my skin, but I'm not going. But I learned now that a lot of the times that people that are toxic, a lot of people that don't mean well to you, or the people that treat you wrong, it
yeah.
comes out of insecurities.
It is, and
That's huge. It comes out of insecurities, and if that
I
makes you
think
feel any better.
that's 100% such a good point, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think as you get older, you learn to kind of cut those people out of your life a lot easier. The people that are not going to be on your journey, that are going to kind of serve you well in a way, as far as your own peace and happiness. Like, but for me, my life is a drama-free zone. I plan on keeping it that way, and I just cut out anybody that's not going to fit well into that, you know and I think that's a must for everybody. I think as you get older, and as you find out more things about yourself, you really find out things that you don't like and don't want and will not accept into um, your realm of existence, right?
Right.
Your life, your journey.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, it's funny how when people come into your lives and you gain new, you gain a new realm. You start to learn yourself more.
Oh,
And
totally.
I mean, like I said, I met you on AMM,
Yeah,
Affiliate Marketing Mastery, and I met
through the
you.
online course.
We all follow Steph and James, and
Yeah,
that's how we met.
yeah,
And look where we're at now. We're discussing knowledge, we're discussing coaching, we're discussing the
yeah.
different aspects of coaching and business, and where it can go. And
From one great coach to the next, right?
right, so exactly. So we're just trying to share ideas, and it's funny how things change, and how you change as a person, how you change. Your world changes when you really figure out what you want to do in life.
Yeah,
It may not be someone's it might not be a sexy career that another person's going to think, but you know what, in reality, who cares what that person thinks?
yeah.
If they don't want to talk to you anymore because you're doing something that they don't want to do, then you know what, let them live their life, let them make their own decisions, let them do their own thing. Because guess what you like doing is what who really should care is yourself.
It's where it all
You know what I
begins.
mean? That's
Yeah.
just how it is, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
How about
It's
you?
crazy how things work.
Yeah.
You know.
No, definitely. It's you have nothing to please to anybody else but yourself.
Yeah.
It's self love all comes from you, and
People
it's
pleasing. That was one of them. I was one of them.
yeah. You know what? I mean, I'm sure we were all kind of guilty of that in some ways. Some more than others.
YOLO.
I used to do that myself too. But then you realize, you know what? Why am I not happy? Why am I not? Oh, because I'm doing this for I'm people pleasing or whatever. Like I've been there too before too, and it's you realize along your journey of just who's not going to be there, who's not, and that takes kind of a little bit of a toll because you realize, okay, like it's growth. Life is change, man. Growth is optional. It's going to happen no matter what. Some people
Absolutely.
are going to still remain in your life and your journey, and then some people are not.
Right.
That's all part of the awareness. That's all part of the journey and the growth itself, right? So
Right. No, absolutely, man.
it
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I think good talk today, man. I think
Yeah, definitely.
we're gonna wrap it up there. But I think I wanted to mention, I guess we're gonna name these weekend podcasts, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna
Yeah.
call it we finally came up with a name.
Yeah. So it's too cool. What do we call it again?
Two cool minds.
Too cool minds. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So I guess we're gonna call it Two Cool Minds podcast. So we'll just leave it at that.
I like that. Yeah.
We'll keep it like our own little trend. Whoever wants to follow.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions or any comments, again, we'd certainly love to hear from you. You can give us a like or a comment below. That'd be awesome.
Exactly, man. Look forward to all those comments, and hopefully you enjoy our conversations. So we'll keep on doing them. The next
Definitely.
topic we'll definitely come up with a topic sometime this week, and we'll discuss it and bring it to you next weekend.
Awesome.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Mike. Well, good talk, man, and meet you next week.
All right. Sounds good, dude.
All right, man. Take it easy. All
Have a
right.
good night.
You too.
Yeah.